Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to another video of my channel. I'm Kishalay. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to another session of Question of the Week. So as you know, in this session, I used to pick up one question that you people are asking me in different platforms like in YouTube comments or maybe in the LinkedIn, Instagram, or I have a Telegram channel also. There also people used to ask me a lot of questions. So I used to pick up one question every week and try to give a detailed answer of that so that other people who might have a similar kind of query, they also get a detailed answer of that particular question. Now today's question is asked in the Telegram channel. So one of my friends has asked me that which laptop configuration I used to use for my machine learning task that I used to execute for my machine learning research. So this is a very interesting question because many students have asked me this question in past also, that what kind of configuration will be needed if someone is willing to pursue something in machine learning related experiments, or maybe they're interested to do AI or machine related research. Then what kind of configuration in their system will be needed so that they can run all the experiments smoothly. So that's why I am decided that I'll be answering this question in detail. Now first of all, I'll tell you that in this era of deep models like GPT, chat GPT, or visual transformers, so all of these models are very heavy. So if you are familiar with machine learning terms, then you will understand that all of these models have a lot of parameters that you need to train. So that's why you need, a huge computational power to run all of these models. And to train all of these models, you need a huge amount of data on which you will train these models. So that's why you need to load your whole data set and also these models into your system or into your RAM of your system, and then only you'll be able to train your model. So that's why the complete experiments, it's not possible to run in any system. So typically in our systems, the RAM size is 8 GB to 12 GB, maximum 16 GB. But all of these deep models like GPT or visual transformer and the huge amount of data or huge corpus of data which will be needed to train this model, it's very difficult to fit all of them in a particular system. So that's why the actual experiment that we typically do or we typically run is in a server. So all of these, premium institutions like IITs, ISC, or if you're part of any research lab, they will provide you GPU servers where you can load all of these data, all of these models, and you can run your experiment there. So the complete experiment that will be done in server only. So you can't perform the whole experiment in your machine or system because that configuration is not available in any single system or any user end system that we used to use in our daily life. Now, before sending the full set of data and the model into the actual, GPU server, what we researchers typically do is that we finalize our model. We see that what are the components that will be there in our machine learning model, what will be my input, what will be my output, what will be the loss function, what are the parameters. So everything we, kind of we define in the PyTorch code that we used to write for our machine learning model. And then we take a small amount of data from the huge corpus of data set that we'll be using. Finally, we take a small amount of data from there, and then we check whether the training is happening well or not. So that means we feed that small amount of data into our machine learning model. We check how the output is coming, whether the loss is generating properly or not, whether the models are getting trained or not. So that everything we check using the small amount of data. Obviously, the accuracy or performance will not be as good as we expect if we train on a huge corpus of data. But whatever data we have given, we just check whether everything is performing smoothly or not. If there is any error code, that also you'll be able to understand with this kind of dummy experiment. So all of these things actually we check via running our model using a small amount of data. Now this dummy experiment that you can run in your system, because for this dummy experiment, if you send the code to server, it will be time consuming, because typically in GPU servers, it's a queue based server. That means you have to be in a queue for some time and then only you'll be getting the GPU and you'll be running your code. So that's why what we prefer is that on a small amount of data, we'll be running our model and we'll see that everything is working fine. Then what we'll do is that we'll load the whole data and model into the CPU server, and the experiment result will be coming from there. So for this dummy experiment using the small amount of data, we need a some configuration in our local system. And there, what I recommend is that if you are using any basic laptops like HP, Dell, or Lenovo laptop, then make sure that you have around 8 to 12 GB of RAM, because all these deep model they need at least 8 GB of RAM, or it's better if you have 12 GB of RAM. And hard disk can be anything, 512, so 1 TB hard disk, that will be sufficient. An Intel processor, if it is a i5 or i7 processor, that's well enough. So personally, the HP laptop that I was working since my ISC days, it's a Intel i5 processor, and the RAM was around 8 GB and hard disk was 1 TB. So that was sufficient for my research till now. Because my MTech thesis at ISC and my first 3 paper at IIT Kharagpur, I have done all the dummy experiments in my local system, that HP laptop, and eventually I have used a GPU server where I have done my actual experiment. So any HP, Dell, Lenovo system that if you are planning to buy, and if you are planning to perform this kind of small ML experiments there, then make sure you have a 8 to 12 GB RAM. And the next thing is that you can obviously go for MacBook, because MacBook is something that is quite common in academia and in industry also. So MacBook Air or MacBook Pro, M1, M2 chip, everything is fine. So these are kind of a bit higher configuration laptop. But obviously, again, you have to make sure that your RAM size is at least 8 GB. Less than 8 GB, your system might get hanged sometimes if you are loading a, kind of huge models like GPT or Visual Transformer. So that's a make sure whenever you are buying a MacBook also, your RAM size is at least 8 GB. And apart from that, you can use Google Colab. So that is also a free cloud-based, interface where you can load your code and you can load your data in the Google Drive and link it with Google Colab. So it also provides you GPUs and TPUs, but here the RAM size is 12 GB that you can use, but more than 12 GB you can't access, then your server will be crashing. So these are the few things that you can use if you are using a local system. Make sure you are using 8 GB RAM system and hard disk of at least 512 GB. And you should have a GPU server getting from your company or your institutions, because finally the experiment that will be performing, that will be there in the GPU systems, where you'll be loading the full data sets and the full model, and you'll be getting output from there. So yeah, that's it about the question of the week for this week. I hope you have get a rough idea about which kind of system that you should buy. Obviously, you can go for any basic laptops like HP or Dell or Lenovo laptop with the configuration that I have mentioned. But yeah, if you have money, I welcome you to buy a MacBook. But yeah, make sure you have a GPU server with you, because without a GPU server, you can't do deep learning research in today's world, because the models are so deep. There are too much of data, so it's not possible for you to train everything in your local system. You need help of a GPU server so that you can you will have a high memory, high RAM, and also you can use the parallelism help of the GPU, so that you can run these models in parallel, and that will be make your computation faster. So yeah, that's it about this video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video to many other people. And if you have any query or any question, feel free to ask me in the comment section of these videos. You can ask me the questions in the LinkedIn also, in the Instagram also. You can connect with there. And I have as I said, I have a Telegram channel, and the link I'll be giving in the description. You can join there and you can participate in the discussion there. So there's a discussion group also. You can participate in the discussion there, and I'll answer your question there also. So feel free to ask me any question, so that if I found your question is also very important, I may choose it as a question of the week question and discuss about it in detail. And if you're new to this particular channel, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon, so that when I upload a new video, you will get instant notification. That's it about this video. I'll meet you in the next video. Until then,